Ahoy!
Welcome to another episode of Bottom of the Stream with Adam and Nick. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick.
I got really confused about what the show was called.
Feel like you didn't know what your name was.
I knew my name, I didn't know the name of the show.
Right, okay.
I couldn't remember if it was called Bottom of the Stream with Adam and Nick or just Bottom of the Stream.
Right.
But it's not.
No, it's not. For, I think, 32 episodes now it's been
32 episodes, is it really?
I think. I might, maybe a couple out.
No, you might be right.
But there we go.
Well, this is what it is.
It is what it is.
Welcome aboard.
It's the place to get up to date with all the latest news in the world of streaming and movies.
It is indeed.
How are you, Adam?
I'm great, thank you. Yourself?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm all right, yeah.
Yeah? You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Loving that hoodie, by the way.
Thanks. I've had a
really
few
nice.
compliments on this
nice.
week. Apart from one.
Why?
One person went, that's a bit flowery, isn't it?
What? It's not too flowery.
It's got flowers on
It's
it.
got flowers on.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'll not tell you on there, but you can have a guess who the person is. I reckon you won't be too far off. So.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
That's fine.
I appreciate that.
Credit where it's due.
Appreciate you. I know. I always, like your range of movie-themed T-shirts.
I've got another one in the post. It didn't quite.
Nice.
It hasn't arrived for today.
Oh, exciting.
So hopefully next week I'll be able to wear that one.
I am excited. You okay? Have you been all right
Quite
this
a
week?
collection of T-shirts now. I've got quite a few. Yes, I've been all right. I've got a new barbecue.
Oh, excellent.
I've not tried it yet, but I've got it.
Good.
That's exciting.
Good.
I think my toilet's leaking
Shit.
downstairs. The one I don't use.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Yeah, that's my life.
I don't want to talk. I was going to say I could tell you about something really boring in my house that I thought had broken, but it's maybe fixed, but it's still indetermined.
Part of me's like,
But there you go.
I don't care that it's leaking. I don't use it, but then also
You don't want
I need
to
to
swimming
solve, I
pool
need to
in
solve that issue.
your
So at the minute,
downstairs.
I've just put a bucket there, and that's sorting that out. We'll sort it whenever. When
man.
life's not in the way.
Responsibilities.
Adulting, eh?
Yeah. I was talking to someone this week, and they were like, I reckon it's only like to the, what were they saying? To like late teens to your mid-20s, the only age you're really like totally free of like,
Yeah. I don't even know if it's them.
commitments and anyway.
Primary school,
Everyone's
maybe.
different.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Everyone's got something going
It's fun
on.
though, isn't it? I did. A lady at work has recommended a ghost recording app.
Oh, awesome.
So you can
is this Sage Woman?
Yeah, Sage Woman. You can leave your phone in a room and it records. It doesn't record audio, but it records vibes. And
Yeah.
then translates them to audio.
Okay.
It's bollocks. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But I set it in here for 5 minutes the other day and it picked up 3 things.
Really?
Yeah. It said island,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah.
Then it said no way.
Yeah.
And then it said problem. And then I left.
That is so
And
exciting.
I put it on for 5 minutes in other rooms in the house and it's not done anything.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Island, no way problem.
Island, no way problem. And there's a lost poster in here. It's got an island on. So I figure it might be looking at that. It's over there. But it hasn't, I don't know. It's exciting. Might have a ghost.
So excited. Well, I'm just thinking back though, because obviously you've lived in this house for quite some time.
Yeah.
This room has taken a few different forms.
Yeah, it has,
So, as in, like, obviously we.
Well, this is my
we
bedroom when we first moved
Yes,
in.
and obviously we make the show here now and stuff.
Yeah.
But like at one point it was a like TV
Yeah, man
type room.
cave. Like
And I don't really remember anything spooky in the times I visited when it was.
when I first moved in, right? I
Like,
slept in here.
being used as other things.
Yeah, I slept in here, and the bed was up against that wall that people can't see.
Yeah.
And there was a shelf above the bed with a book on it.
Yeah.
And one night at 2:00 in the morning, that book hit the pillow next to me.
Right.
And if it had hit the pillow I was on, it might have wiped me out because it was a big old heavy book. So that was the first instance, and that was
Yeah.
when I first moved in.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Are you
But it
gonna,
only happens in here. It's this
are you
room.
going to set it up again?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I could leave it going during the show because it says out loud the word that it records. So
Right.
occasionally we'd just get a word that would just appear. Shall I do it? Shall I leave it on for a minute just to see
Yeah,
if
okay.
it says anything? Hold on. Give me a second.
Well, this sounds like absolute hoodoo.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, it's going. We'll put it
Okay.
near my mic. See if it just randomly says a
What
word.
if our good... What was it?
It said hopefully. straight away as soon as I turned it on.
What if our good vibes outweigh the ghost vibes?
Hopefully. Whoa. Hopefully that will happen.
Okay. Okay, I'm in. I'm in with this.
It's recording. Occasionally words will just... I don't know if the mics will pick them up, but if it does say anything, I will let us know.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Enough ghosts.
Sure. Shall we do a question of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
I got a couple this week, actually.
Okay.
So we may bookend the show. We'll see how we go.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
We'll play it free and easy.
Yeah.
I'll give a little disclaimer. Let's assume for this that this is not just including physical photographs.
Okay.
But also like digital ones on people's phones and stuff like that. Okay?
Yeah.
So you wake up one morning to discover that you have been permanently replaced in all the family photos.
Right.
So that's and the house, maybe like everything your mum's got on her phone, family, stuff like that, by Danny DeVito.
Okay.
But no one else seems to notice.
Right.
What do you do?
So I don't look like Danny DeVito. I've not turned into Danny DeVito overnight. Well, but all the photos of me.
You haven't changed looks, no.
No, okay. I mean, that would be quite disturbing.
No one else notices.
Nobody else even notices. That's quite...
So what do you look? What do you look like, Riz?
Do I look like Danny DeVito?
Or do you look like you?
You've got to question the mirror at this point. Like, do I look like Danny DeVito? What can I do? There's not a lot I can do, is there? It's like, other than convincing people that that's not me in the photo.
I mean, I think I'd be selecting a photo, talking to a family member and going,
this is not me.
Come on,
yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, but what if they're like, no, I can't see the difference.
Exactly. Then what?
This sounds.
I think you've got to widen your
bottom of the stream film idea.
Yeah, I think you've got to widen your search. You've got to talk to more people.
Yeah.
And then if you're getting more numbers and everyone's like, that's what you look like. Have you always looked like that?
That'd be because
what
about like childhood pictures? Are they childhood pictures of Danny DeVito?
Or when he was a kid?
When he was a
kid?
Or
just little. Just
I'm a child, but Danny DeVito's like full aged. Okay, that's disturbing. I think I'd have some sort of breakdown. I don't see what I can do. That'd be a really cruel prank to play on somebody. I mean, there's worse people to look like.
Yeah, of course. I suppose it's like a magnified version of that prank in The Office where they replaced Jim with the Randall Park.
Yeah. What I would do is take a selfie now.
Yeah.
And then look at it straight away and go.
And then get other people to... See if you look like Danny DeVito.
Yeah, to see if I think that I look like... Because I'm seeing that in every photo.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
So in theory, a new photo...
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking. You got to be conducting some experiments.
Yeah, you've got to do some experiments and see if this is a new thing or...
I'd Google Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
What does Danny DeVito look like?
And then there's a news story where Danny DeVito's like, suddenly all my pictures look like a random person I've never met before.
Yeah, exactly.
We've just swapped images.
And then you get to meet him and try and put... this is a good idea for a movie. You're right.
It is a good idea. It sounds like a bottom of the stream movie to me.
It's like a twist on being John Malkovich.
Yeah. Being Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Why have they never done a sequel to being John Malkovich with somebody else?
Good question. Yeah.
Or a remake?
Yeah. Well, the Malkovich cinematic universe.
Yeah. That's a good question, though. I don't know. I think it'd be quite disturbing, and it might send me crazy.
I think it truly would be. It truly would be. Okay, shall we do some news?
Yes.
Fine. So let's start with I guess a double header of Adolescence news.
Okay.
Because
it's all everybody's.
I'll let you into a little secret. So when I put the news together, I'm obviously scouring the net.
Yes.
And I usually start by looking for Netflix related news.
Yeah, obviously.
I was approximately 8 to 10 pages into the search engine before any news story wasn't about adolescence.
I'm not surprised. It is literally everywhere this
week. That is how ubiquitous this thing has become.
Yeah. For
various reasons in the news outlets.
I can't remember any Netflix or any series that has taken over all of media like Adolescence.
It's been talked about in Parliament.
Yeah. Quite rightly, as it should be.
All over the place. But we'll focus on a couple of numbers. So, I'm not sure this is quite the flex that some people are sort of making it, but Do you remember a couple of years ago now we said that remember Barb, the British ratings company, obviously used to take great pride in 25 million people have watched EastEnders and versus Coronation Street, and it's a big ding dong battle. And then a couple of years ago streaming figures were brought in. But the ratings thing's become so fractured in this country now. There's so many options. You know, the numbers are quite small. Like, you know all those reasons. But even having said all that, Adolescence has become the first program on a streaming platform to top the weekly audience rating charts in the UK.
Really, that is pretty big.
Yeah, I guess
pretty big news.
Yeah. The first and second episodes of the series held the top 2 spots in the Barb ratings from the week 10th to the 16th of March.
Wow.
With the initial episode pulling in 6.45 million viewers and the second 5.9 million viewers, beating the third place show, The Apprentice,
right, by
1.5 million. So not even
close. And that's the first time it's ever happened?
Yes. First time that a streaming show has topped those ratings and that count. The biggest audience for any streaming TV show in the UK in a single week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is,
crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy. That's something you would never have happened.
Yeah.
When you think like Squid Games counted in that, Stranger Things is counted in that. It's that even they didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
So that's the first record that the show has broken this week. The second is that Adolescence is on track to be Netflix's biggest ever British show in terms of views. So by the end of its second week of release, 66.3 million views.
Just in the UK?
By the Netflix count. No, I believe that's worldwide.
Worldwide, but for
the most watched UK title ever on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is I don't think that wouldn't have been the goal.
No, definitely.
And I don't mean that as a criticism. That's like a wonderful, pleasant surprise.
But that's happened because let's do it. I watched Adolescence on Sunday night. I watched all 4 episodes in a row, and that's happened because it is truly.
It's unknown.
It's unknown. The ghost just said. It's truly a remarkable piece of TV.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible from start to finish.
Yes.
It's like, have you not seen it yet?
No, I haven't, and I will say I do really want to watch it. The only reason I haven't is because we've had a couple of tough weeks, and just I don't feel in the
Royal.
Well, it could be either of us.
So I turn it off now.
Yeah, okay. And I just don't feel I'm in the right headspace for it. I think it might finish me off. So I just think, so I will get to it. But did you how did you approach it? Were you like, right, I'm ready?
Yes, absolutely. I was like,
I feel like I'm in the right place to.
I had nothing to do on Sunday night. I was like, I blocked my evening out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to watch this regardless in a row.
Yeah.
And I would never ever think, it's a 3.5 hour film, 4 hour film.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to watch that. But I wanted to block this time out. I wanted to do it all at once. And I'm so glad it's honestly unbelievable. Everything about it is what people are saying.
Emotional? Were you emotional?
Completely. Yeah. By the end of it, I was destroyed. I barely slept that night.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about it. I think it's, I know you say this about me all the time, that I get like really hyperbolic about stuff. I genuinely think it's the best thing Netflix have ever produced.
Right, okay.
Film or TV. I genuinely, everything about it is a 10 out of 10 for me. The way it's made is like crazy.
Well, and I think that's the clever marketing bit, right? So
100%.
So people are watching it because it's a great show and they're invested in it, but I also think people are going back because if I look at my various algorithms on social media, and Netflix they've been clever, to be fair. They're releasing all these snippets now of like how we did this sequence, how we did this, and I think it's making people go back 100% as well.
It definitely is, because it's like the drone shot at the end of episode 2.
Yeah,
I think is the best piece of camera work I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In anything. Because, I mean, I know it's one continuous shot, but there's a point in the show where you think, right, let's go from here. And then it just goes for like 15, 20 minutes. And then it ends with that amazing drone shot. And it's just like, and then when you see how they do that, that's mind-boggling. And that's before you even get to how incredible that cast is.
Yeah.
And that kid
never acted before.
Happens
occasionally.
Never
it?
acted before.
Unearth a diamond.
The third episode is the first time he was ever on a film set.
Yeah.
And then it's that third episode. I'm not giving any spoilers, but that first episode is just him and another person in it.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. He's incredible in it. They should just throw everything. I read somewhere somebody said all the TV awards should be melted down and made into one big Adolescence award. Just give it all of them because it is. The third episode was my favourite. I thought the third episode was like some of the best acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown away by how good it is.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's the best TV since It's a Sin. I think is how I.
It's just
biggest praise I can give it.
It's not often the two things marry up.
No.
In terms of critical acclaim,
especially on Netflix.
We're talking big numbers,
huge numbers.
Yeah,
huge numbers, and a cast that the amount of work that must have gone into not fucking up, and then having to. I mean, I think it said episode 3 was the 14th take of that.
So they did. So how they did it for anyone who's not.
Yeah.
So they shot a week for each episode, and they basically they ran the episode twice a day.
Yeah, and this was the 14th take.
Yeah.
And
so
that
they
kid,
had 20 goes at each episode.
Pretty
basically.
much, yeah. So that kid who is never an actor before, was never done any acting before. He pretty much that episode's a 2-header for an hour. So there's so much dialogue in that episode.
Yeah.
And then the amount of emotion he can get out of that on the 14th go, is unbelievable to me. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how good Adolescence is. It's easily a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And we were saying like the other week, a couple of weeks ago, that Netflix's marketing seems to have dropped off. They don't seem to be pushing anything, but I think they're really pushing this. It's literally everywhere.
They are, but they have. I guess the compliment for Netflix is how quickly they can capitalize on the moment, because I don't feel like this was pushed pre-release.
No, not at all.
But because it has taken off, they have absolutely gone all
to town
in.
on it. Yeah, 100%.
Right. We've got this. What have we got in the back? We've got, like you say,
this making of footage.
This making of footage. How we did this.
Let's throw the actors out into every piece of media you can get. They're on everything.
Yeah.
And really push that this kid's not an actor.
Yeah.
That Stephen Graham has just been everywhere.
And that Stephen Graham and his writer director pal, they came. It was their idea, and
how people who have children of that age are watching it blows my mind, because I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
I don't have any sort of, but it destroyed me, and I don't know how mothers and fathers of teenage boys are watching this and not being like, it's just destroying them.
Prime Minister's watching it with his kids.
Yeah,
I think they're mid.
It should be being shown in schools.
Yeah,
every school.
Wouldn't surprise me if it gets to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
it's that good, and it really needs to start this conversation of how do we regulate social media and because that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's misogyny and social media.
Smartphones are
horrendous. But
okay,
I could talk for hours on Adolescence, and probably shouldn't, because we're 19 minutes into this episode already. But
that's fine. Maybe we could do a little bonus episode when I've watched it. And
100%. But
something like that.
You really do need to be in the right headspace to watch it. Yeah, especially being a parent, I think. But it destroyed me. So I can't imagine what it's doing to people who have got kids at that, especially around that sort of age.
Okay, good.
Yeah, cool.
I
went on a bit.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Let's talk about a similar show on Netflix, and that is news this week that Netflix have commissioned a live-action Scooby-Doo.
Okay, yeah. Imagine that'd be quite raw and emotional as well.
They have commissioned 8 episodes for the first season of this show.
Okay.
The show will delve into how Mystery Inc. and their beloved dog first teamed up together.
Oh, an origin story.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Greg Berlanti is the producer behind this.
Do we know Greg Berlanti?
He done a lot of all the Arrowverse type stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there was millions of those sort of shows,
yeah.
wasn't Peter Friedlander, who is the vice president of scripted series for Netflix, said, Mystery Inc. is back in business. We're excited to bring Scooby-Doo to TV as a live-action series for the first time. The beloved franchise has had an impact on pop culture that is undeniable. It is rich with the universal themes of friendship that generations of fans have long embraced. Together with the creative powerhouse of Berlanti Productions, we are committed to delighting long-term fans and opening up a world of groovy adventures for a new era of meddling kids.
Isn't it really just about drug-addicted dogs?
So... I mean, yeah, some people have said it's like Scooby-Doo getting the Riverdale type treatment. But we'll see.
I'm up for that.
It kind of feels like, again, am I surprised that given how much and how often certain stuff gets rebooted, it's been a long time since those live-action Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
And
20 years?
When you think about it, actually, it's probably surprised this hasn't happened
before. Yeah, you're right. It's got to be 20 years, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely from the first one, I would have thought.
Let's do a goog.
We did say the other week, didn't we, that Matthew Lillard is on the comeback trail.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll cameo in this thing.
Scooby-Doo the movie was 2002. Yeah, so 23 years ago.
Something like you say, something like Wednesday helps this get made as well. It's that
definitely.
ilk of IP, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued by that.
How many live-action Scooby-Doos were there? 2?
Oh, I want to say two. I'm going to say 2.
I don't know.
Oh.
I was just asking. 5.
Wow. Some of them must have been straight to DVD.
So you've got Scooby-Doo, which came out in 2002 with Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, they were the 2 proper ones.
Yeah, that was with the same cast. And then Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins came out in 2009.
Okay.
The story of how Mystery Inc. was formed.
Oh, right, okay.
So this is a remake of this. Don't reckon. Oh, Robbie Amell's in that.
Really?
Yeah. Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster came out in 2010. Again, Robbie Amell is in that. And Daphne and Velma came out in 2018.
Okay.
The female future members of Mystery. That's a prequel as well.
Yeah.
Who did Robbie Amell play?
Freddie. Gobby.
Yeah. He did. So yeah, 5, but only 2 of the Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
ones.
I thought there was.
This looks dreadful.
What can anyone say? Watch along?
Curse of the Lake Monster looks awful. It's an adventure comedy, family, fantasy, mystery, romance thriller.
Lovely.
Yeah, maybe watch along. It's on Prime.
Excellent.
Cool.
Right.
This is another one of those loose episodes, isn't it?
So, next bit of Netflix news, it might be the final bit of Netflix news for the week,
Okie doke.
is that Netflix have commissioned a Korean version of Dangerous Liaisons.
Okay.
Which is a very well adapted book / rebooted movie. You think that you had the sort of famous, I think, was it late 80s or early 90s version with John Malkovich, Michelle Pfeiffer, Uma Thurman, and then it was reimagined again in 1999 as Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
Which was Ryan Felipe.
Yeah.
Was that Sarah Michelle Gellar?
I think it was, yeah.
Wow, she's popping up a lot today. And then there was a Stars sequel in 2022, which was also called Dangerous Liaisons. Well, we're getting the Korean version, and Netflix is putting their money behind that. It will be called Scandals.
Oh, okay.
Inspired by a Korean 2003 adaptation of Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh, God.
It follows Lady Cho and Won as they engage in a calculated wager that challenges cultural norms about love and relationships. A couple brings a widow in to become an unexpected participant in their plans. That means sexy time.
It does mean sexy times.
Variety says this is a steamy adaptation.
Ooh,
I thought all of those
yeah.
are steamy, I think.
That Cruel Intentions cast is crazy. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Felipe, Reese Witherspoon, Selma Blair, Joshua Jackson, and Tara Reid.
Wow!
It couldn't be more late 90s cast
late
if it wanted
90s.
to be.
Some of them are still doing all right now.
Yeah.
Some of them not so much.
Tara Reid?
Yeah.
She's in all the Sharknado films. She did all
I
right.
suppose so. Joshua Jackson's got a new show on, I think over here it's on Disney Plus, and he's a doctor on a cruise ship.
Yes, I think I've seen this.
I guess it's like a case of the week type.
Yeah, I think I've seen this.
So,
Tara Reid started off in Sharknado as like the bimbo girlfriend and
Yeah.
ended up as a time traveling robot.
as you do.
Why not?
She was like, didn't we adopt her for a bit in
Yeah,
Britain?
because she was big into Jedward, weren't she?
Yeah.
She
Was she on like Big Brother with them?
Yeah, she was. And then I think they're in one of the Sharknado films because of her.
Right.
And then, yeah, she got well into Jedward for some reason.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, that's all the Netflix news.
Okay, cool.
We're going to go on to movie news because there's quite a bit.
Right.
And I don't know if you were aware of this yesterday. Probably about, well, yes, it would have been about this time yesterday as we
I am aware of this.
Because this thing went on for 6 hours.
I am aware of this. It is mental.
Going to talk about the cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, I think we do need to address this.
Which I will just remind off the top is, would we say, before I say that actually, is this Marvel's Hail Mary
It's got to be in it.
of like,
We've got to throw everything at the wall
basically
here and
saying-
hope something sticks.
we know things haven't gone well since this phase of stuff.
Yeah,
So we're going to see what we can do.
yeah,
And they need this to be a massive, massive hit.
yeah. They
Arg-
really do.
Arguably, the Rousseau brothers need this to be a massive
Yeah.
hit after what's happened in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure they're not really worried about their bank.
No, but their reputation, surely.
So yesterday on various social media channels, Marvel started a live stream.
Yep.
In which a series of director-style chairs were put down in a huge line. This thing took over 5 hours.
I know,
So
it's
every
crazy.
10 to 15 minutes, another chair would be brought out and added to the line. There were, I think it is, 26 chairs were
Yeah, I
put
think that
down
sounds right.
in the end, including, I would say, a lot of cast member stars that we knew were going to be in this thing.
Yep.
And also a few surprises.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you like me to read them out?
Yeah, what I will say, I watched this video, but I watched like a much
Yes.
shorter
So
version.
after the event was done, there is a 90-second version.
I watched that and then read afterwards that this took 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, people watch that.
People can't have live streamed the whole thing for 6 hours.
Some like Twitch streamers and people were like
Yeah.
live streaming along with it, and we're like, I've got to go to work. What is happening?
Yes, they ended up being a 90-second version, which was the whole, like you say, the whole thing condensed as each chair was put down, and
Yeah.
like they had various musical cues for especially existing characters
Yeah.
as the chair was put
Do you think
down.
it's also a reveal of the runtime of the movie?
Yeah,
Because
probably.
with 27,
This
and
is
that's
only
still
the
not the
first
full- yeah,
of
that's
two
still not the
Avengers
full
movies,
cast.
isn't it?
I think the 5-hour movie wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility.
What I also did want to say was that I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's it. What I also did want to say is it is now April 2025.
It is.
This thing has started shooting this week
Right.
and it comes out next July.
Wow.
That is a hell of a turnaround
That is a
for
hell of
like
a turnaround.
the biggest movie ever made, trademark or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they're already doing special effects for stuff they haven't filmed.
They haven't even filmed yet. That's the trouble, isn't it? There's such a quick... This is why they're bad.
We're going to hear again about Marvel pushing effects studios to,
To the breaking point.
and that's why Ant-Man looked crap.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
so
Give me a list.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yep. Pretty standard, I was expecting.
This is in order of how they were placed as well.
Yes.
Vanessa Kirby.
Yep.
So obviously, in the upcoming Fantastic Four, I don't think that's a surprise that they were going to be assimilated into this. Anthony Mackie.
Yep.
Sebastian Stan.
Yep.
Letitia Wright.
Yep.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell.
When do you think the first, that's a surprise one turned up?
Uh,
White Russell, yeah.
I would say I don't think Wyatt Russell.
People have been watching this live stream 3 hours before any sort of reveal turned up. Is what I'm getting at.
So these are all so far people who have been in this thing before. I think the first surprise is in about 4 people's time.
Okay.
What I will say is, so obviously Wyatt Russell was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. He is a member of the upcoming Thunderbolts movie.
Yes.
That I did see quite a few complaints that basically this tells you who survives that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's everyone bar.
Not necessarily.
Well,
you've
I
got
guess
multiverses
so.
and things, haven't you? You can get around that.
Yeah, people like a moan.
Yes,
Wyatt Russell. Tenoch Huerta Maya.
Okay.
So he played Namor in Wakanda Forever.
Got you.
Ebon Moss Bacharach. Again, he's in Fantastic Four coming up. Simu Liu. I feel like Shang-Chi is like the forgotten
and that wasn't
superhero.
that bad, Shang-Chi.
No,
I quite enjoyed
Shang-Chi.
Movie. Yeah.
That's years ago now, and we've never seen that character.
He was in a film I watched at the weekend. I'll talk to you about in a minute.
Okay, cool. Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Flapo.
Kelsey Grammer. I think that's the first.
Yeah, I think that's the first surprise name.
So I think I've talked to you before I think when we were talking about the Marvels because you've not seen it. So he's in the Sting, the minutes credit Sting, where one of the Marvels has ended up in that universe, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kelsey Grammer. Lewis Pullman, he's in the Thunderbolts that's coming up. Danny Ramirez, so he's the Falcon now with Captain America. Joseph Quinn, obviously in Fantastic Four. David Harbour, Winston Duke, Hannah John Kamen, Tom Hiddleston. I think that's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
Because Loki's very much kind of his story kind of came to not an end, but an end.
Yes,
maybe
there's an end
not
there for Loki.
And then we're into, I guess, a couple of the big guns. Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, this was a big surprise, wasn't it?
And Ian McKellen.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, so bringing back some of that. Kelsey Grammer's from the later X-Men.
Yes, Patrick Stewart's and Ian McKellen original.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
Kelsey Grammer was in the later couple of those movies, wasn't he? But yeah, those guys are coming back.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure Patrick. I've not got an encyclopedic knowledge of either the MCU or the X-Men movies. I'm pretty sure I've seen Patrick Stewart die twice as Professor X.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
In the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Which, again, alternate universe. And also in that Logan movie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But he's coming back. Alan Cumming.
Okay.
Also from that X-Men universe, as is Rebecca Romijn.
We're definitely getting lots of X-Men in this movie.
Yes. Because also joining is James Marsden.
Okay.
As is Channing Tatum.
Yeah, he was like Gambit, wasn't he?
Only in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So it's a right mismatch. Pedro Pascal. And then the final chair.
After 6 hours.
Put down by the man himself.
Yep.
Who then turned and shushed the camera was Robert Downey Jr.
Which we knew anyway.
Yes, we did know that. Obviously, this is the first of 2 Avengers movies coming.
Yes.
I'm not going to read out the same names again, but their characters.
Okay.
Unless you really want me to.
Don't.
But I guess there's a few names missing that you maybe would have expected. Maybe they'll be in the, is it Secret Wars, which will be the second of the 2 Avengers movie. So in terms of notable missing names, I guess Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Benedict Wong. Jeremy Renner. Tom Holland. Although he's got his own.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
I don't think they were
movie
allowed
coming
to use Tom Holland's name. I think he works for Sony, doesn't he?
Evangeline Lilly. John Cheadle. Brie Larson. Samuel L. Jackson. Elizabeth Olsen.
Basically, all the original Avengers cast are not in this list.
Benedict Cumberbatch. And Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. But I don't think we would have expected them pair.
I don't know. You're getting a lot of X-Men.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
Do they feel more like cameo?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they turn up at some point.
Deadpool just strolls past in the background.
Do you know what I'm interested in?
Sure.
The post-credit Sting reveals of actors, but then they never come back.
Yeah.
Like at the end, I think it was. Oh, which one was it? One of them that had Harry Styles at the end.
I've not seen that one. It's the
It's
Eternals,
the
isn't it?
Eternals, yeah. And then another one had Brett Goldstein at the end.
Yeah.
But where are these guys? Well, surely they're doing something at some point.
Yeah, well, there's loads of reasons behind that. So the Eternals was the one that also had Blade off camera, wasn't it? That movie's stuck in absolute developmental hell, and it has been for years. It's on about its fourth director. I'm not sure that thing's ever going to happen. Not in the version that they're trying to get it up and running with. It's a bit like you kind of want to know how much have you changed course, because you've got Harry Styles in there.
Yeah,
that's not cheap, and you must have signed him up to a.
He's got some sort of contract. Surely. Yeah.
Same with, like you say, Brett Goldstein, the end of that Thor film, which was also not very good. That movie. That's I suppose you could pick that up down the line, but by the time you get to a new Thor film, it's going to be after 2 Avengers films.
Harry Styles is going to be like 80 by the time they get to him.
I guess it's the whole thing of can they put lightning back in the bottle with, but then didn't Avengers work so well because you had the build up, and now we're not getting a build up, we're getting a quickly done Fantastic Four movie, which I'm sure will be good and set some of this stuff up, but then we're going wow right in Avengers. With Avengers.
Yeah,
which isn't that what DC did with their.
It does seem like a bit. Ooh, let's get a big movie out and see what we can.
Yeah,
it basically throw as much shit at the wall as we can and see what sticks, and then
it's going to make a kajillion dollars, no doubt about it. I'm sure it will.
But then it's also going to cost a kajillion dollars.
Yeah,
all of those people want paying.
Yeah,
and that's not even the full cast. And you've got to squeeze them all into 4 hours at the absolute.
Some of them will be in one scene.
Yeah,
but
No, it fascinated me that people sat for 6 hours and watched that. It really did.
I guess the other big franchise news is a development in the world of James Bond.
Okay.
And that is that there are 2 new producers in the big chairs.
Okay.
Following, obviously, the...
Amazon are not hanging around here.
Yeah, the creative control that Amazon have taken from... Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, who had previously they worked on every James Bond since 1977, from The Spy Who Loved Me.
That's mad.
All the way through to whatever the last one was. No Time to Die, is that right?
Sounds right.
Let's say that.
Who knows?
The new producers are none other than Amy Pascal and David Heyman, which is extremely interesting, particularly because David Heyman is quite busy doing a little side project of the Harry Potter TV show.
Oh, okay, yeah, just a small.
Having also produced the Harry Potter movies the first time round.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a busy boy.
They are both going to be working on the James Bond franchise in whatever
I think that
image
franchise,
that will take.
I feel like that franchise rests for a little while.
I mean, it's already rested for 6 years. I think.
Maybe bring one out on the 10th anniversary of the last one or something. I feel like that goes away for a little while.
Amazon said, "We are honoured to be working with these 2 on James Bond's next chapter and are excited to deliver to global audiences storytelling that upholds the impeccable legacy of this beloved character."
I don't think you're only getting films from Amazon with that as well.
Oh, they would love...
You're going to get TV shows.
But it goes back to what I said the other week. I don't think it's a strong franchise in terms of... I don't want to see a fucking Odd Job TV series. Do you know what I mean?
Don't you?
No, I don't think I do.
I don't think I do.
It's James Bond and then what?
Yeah. You've got one... There's one character, isn't it?
Yeah.
You haven't got a strong supporting cast there.
Yeah.
Don't know. It was interesting to see what Amazon are going to do with it. But I feel like they're going to try and milk it, but maybe not yet.
Do you want a super spy arms race?
No.
Because up against this James Bond reboot and whatever Amazon does with that, is the news that the rights to the Jason Bourne franchise are now up for grabs.
Oh, okay.
Because they have slipped.
Right.
From Universal, who did own them. It is nearly 10 years since a Jason Bourne movie.
Is it really?
So these rights are up for grabs.
Okay.
The Robert Ludlum estate is able to shop these things around.
Right.
They may go back to Universal because they are apparently an interested bidder,
Right.
having let these things go. Which, you've got to question the business acumen there. But there we go. Also interested, according to the Hollywood Reporter, are Skydance Productions, Apple, and Netflix.
Okay.
Would anyone say bidding war? You can if you want. I refer you to my previous comments.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many of this sort of stuff. Like,
why did Netflix need that when they could just make
people running around in
spy
alleyways
show?
shooting? Yeah,
they
have.
do. Yeah, they're 10 a penny on there now.
We've talked about this. The Diplomat.
Yeah.
The Night Agent.
Agent. The Recruit.
Yeah.
There's loads of them.
They're all influenced by this.
I don't know where I feel like that fits.
I know. Really, I have seen.
Yeah,
I've not seen all the James Bond films. Nowhere near. I have seen the Jason Bourne films, and I think they're great.
Yeah, they are. It doesn't feel like a good fit for Apple.
No.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think like coming soon on Apple is a new Jason Bourne. It doesn't really feel right for Netflix either. So we'll see where that ends up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Universal just gets that back and
Quite possible.
reboots the franchise.
Okay. And then let's bring it right back round because let's talk about a new role that none other than Linda Cardinelli is taking up.
Okay.
Now she was Velma in the Scooby-Doo
Full
movies.
circle. Well done.
She has signed up to star in A24's prequel series set in the Friday the 13th universe.
Okay. Colour me interested.
It will be called Crystal Lake.
Okay.
And she has signed on the dotted line to star as Pamela Voorhees.
Ooh. I'm not against that.
She is always good.
Yes.
Like, I find she is so watchable, even when she's only in some stuff for a few minutes. Oh, like the Avengers. So, she didn't have a chair. She didn't have a chair,
did she? Get that woman a chair.
But then neither did Jeremy Renner, so there we go. Not much known about this thing, where it's going to end up in terms of screening or anything like that, or even really a synopsis about the show. But yes, it will be set in that universe. It's called Crystal Lake, and she will play Jason's mum.
Jason's mum.
Yeah.
How? What? How? I don't see how that happens, but why not?
They can do anything they want.
Yeah, but before the first movie, they were just a normal family.
Yeah.
So it can't be like a prequel.
Or were they?
Oh, clearly not.
Okay. Good. Right, a couple more bits of news. So, busy lady. We talk about a few people, don't we?
Yeah.
How does that person have time to take on more projects?
Mike Flanagan.
Obviously booked up for years and years to come. I'm referring to none other than Zendaya.
Zendaya never stops.
She does not. She has signed up to another A24 production. This is a movie. It's a biopic. She will play Ronnie Spector.
Oh.
Her of The Ronettes.
Right.
In a biopic upcoming to be directed by Barry Jenkins. This will have Zendaya playing Ronnie Spector, the American songstress who co-founded and fronted the 1960s girl group The Ronettes. It will also include, obviously, her relationship with Phil Spector, who allegedly, was not good to Ronnie, and also spent time in jail for murder of another lady.
Not a good guy. Phil Spector.
So, yes, A24 acquired the script in 2022 and have been working on it since.
Okay.
Phil Spector was sent to prison in 2009 for the murder of actress Lana Clarkson.
I remember that. I remember when that happened.
So
cool.
Plenty to go.
That sounds like the story that needs telling.
And then finally. News that another, probably not quite as busy as those guys, but certainly a busy guy, Nicholas Hoult.
Yes.
Also
an X-Man.
Yes. Yeah, he's young Kelsey Grammer, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is, yeah.
Has signed up for a heist movie with Amazon
Okay.
to be directed by David Leitch. It is currently looking at a cinematic release. And the Hollywood Reporter says this story centers on a group of savvy bank robbers who use social media to document their heists, playing a cat and mouse game with police. The producers, according to the Hollywood Reporter, have spent the better part of a decade developing the project.
Sounds exciting.
That feels like I mean, they say cinematic release. There's a lot from that synopsis that makes me think that's prime for prime.
Yeah, prime for prime.
Yeah.
Nicholas Holt's usually good though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good value.
Pretty good value.
Reliable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Solid hand.
That's all the news.
Excellent. Well done. How have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've watched a couple of things.
Okay.
So I finished Paradise.
Same.
Okay.
I actually finished it before last week's episode, but forgot. So
Fine. I watched the last couple in the last week.
Thoughts?
Overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I still stand by what I said a couple of weeks ago. It is like classy guff.
Yeah.
Like stupid.
It is. It's
but
silly.
it's really classy.
It's really good as well.
I kind of liked how the initial hook for this show, i.e. the murder of the president, ended up being a side plot.
Yeah, completely.
In the grand scheme of things. And even like the reveal of who did it was like, and by the end of the series is a minor thing in the bigger story.
By the end of that episode, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think the performances are great. Everyone buys into it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and sells it. It looks expensive. It looks shiny. And
it's just a genuinely really good show.
And I hope that it goes full in. And, you know, there's a cliffhanger at the end, and it's like, the second series of this has got to be a different it's going to be a very different program to the first program, but I still want to see where the story is going.
Yeah, 100%. It has to be a completely different style. To carry on this story.
Yeah.
But you've also got in Paradise lots of stories going on.
Yes.
Inside that place that you can just spin off if you need to.
Yeah, 100%.
You could just, that universe feels rich with story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I genuinely thought it was a really good show. Really.
I think they balanced their characters well. You know, we learnt, you know, we got teasers that we don't know enough about some of them who, you know, but that we've spent enough time with them to be invested.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, with some of the side characters that you could spin off and play more time with. So I would eagerly anticipate the second series.
Same. It has been recommissioned as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
And I would give special props to James Marsden, because I think sometimes he can fade into the background, but I thought he was great as the president. Like, really charismatic.
He was, yeah, really good. Almost like, not Donald Trump, but not far off. Not quite that, like, polarising.
He was like the Playboy president.
The Playboy president, yeah.
Yeah. Just going for a bit of JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was...
I'm pretty sure how Donald Trump would have been if it would have been 40 years before.
So yeah, there was that, and then I have watched the first 3 episodes on Amazon Prime of Last One Laughing.
I've watched 4 episodes.
Okay,
of this,
cool.
That's all that's out so far.
Yeah,
fantastic show.
Yeah, it's good idea.
Great premise.
Yeah, so 10 stand-up, well, not all stand-up, 10 comedians in a room for 6 hours.
Yeah,
on a set for 6 hours.
Yeah,
and they can't laugh.
You're not allowed to laugh at each
other. But you've got to try and make each other laugh.
Yeah.
The mix of people.
Like the best cast I can remember from
with
any
different
sort of show
styles.
Like yeah. It's like every one of these is like a super famous comedian.
Yeah.
And it's like really like how they've got all these people together. And then it's hosted by Jimmy Carr and Rasheen Connerty.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought it was great. I was like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
The pained expressions of trying not to laugh by these people who just spend their lives laughing.
Yeah.
And even people who don't really laugh as their gimmick are really struggling with it. Like Richard Ayoade and Joe Wilkinson. It's like, they don't laugh, but they really struggle.
Yeah.
And it's really fit. And then you've got people like Daisy May Cooper who never stops laughing, really, really struggling not to.
You just got the same face on all the way through,
yeah, just like
sucking her lips in, and
they've just got. I love how they all have to just walk away from Bob Mortimer.
Yeah,
nobody can be.
I would be the same.
I think
Bob Mortimer is like, I was never the biggest fan of Reeves and Mortimer, as in like the shooting star stuff, but
I love
all their sketch stuff. No, I like some of it, but it wasn't it wasn't right top of my list.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
anytime I've seen Bob Mortimer on anything like this, Taskmaster, just chat shows, pan shows, I've read his book, and
Even that fishing show he does.
absolutely kill. He just
It's
slays
so
me.
funny. I'm like that with Joe Wilkinson. I just
They're the
have
two
to,
for me on there.
I just have to look at Joe Wilkinson and I just want to laugh. He's just so funny.
Not to give a spoiler, so they get the chance at some point. They're told to play a Joker, and that's them doing a little routine.
Yeah.
And Joe Wilkinson just does a speech about the RNLI, the Royal Lifeboats Association.
I was crying.
So funny.
I would be terrible at that game. I would be terrible at that game. But yeah, it's really funny, and it's on Prime. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different countries versions on there as well. I've not seen any of them yet. So I think there's an Irish one that Graham Norton's hosting.
Yeah.
Canadian, Indonesian, I think, Australian.
Okay.
There's quite a few on there. So it feels like a franchise that's just got here.
Sure.
But it's great. Check it out. It's on
Yeah,
Prime.
so I'm gonna watch the rest
It's
of
coming out
it,
weekly, but I think the last two came out today, so it should be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, check them out.
I think that's it for me. How about you?
I mentioned Adolescence. I watched that. I have also watched the first 3 episodes of The Residents.
Oh yes, I
which
want to get
is,
to this.
Netflix's new comedy
Whodunit.
Whodunit caper with I've forgotten her name. I've just looked up her name and I've forgotten it already. Uzo Aduba,
Yes.
who was Crazy Eyes in Orange Is the New Black, and Giancarlo Esposito plays the murder victim. And
he replaced Andre Braugher.
He did, yeah. So apparently Andre Braugher
passed away,
hadn't
unfortunately,
quite finished
partway
filming,
through.
so they've had to refilm all of the scenes with Giancarlo Esposito. I remember talking about it on the show. It's so good.
Is it good?
It's
Great.
Really, I've only seen the
want
first
it to be good.
3 episodes. It feels very Knives Out-y.
Yeah.
It's also a bit Sherlock Holmes-y.
Yeah.
She's fantastic in it.
She's great.
It's basically somebody's been murdered in the White House. The chief usher of the White House has been murdered in the White House during a state visit by the Australian president.
Okay.
So the house is full. Kylie Minogue's in it.
Oh, really?
She's just in it. She's there. She plays herself. She's performing at this thing, but she's there. That is Kylie Minogue in this show. Then they keep saying that Hugh Jackman's in the room as well, but he's never quite in the scenes.
Okay, nice.
They're about 50-minute episodes. I've only seen the first 3, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Cool. She's fantastic. It's a great bit of casting. So yeah, definitely check that out. And then I watched Last Breath on Saturday.
Okay, what's that?
You've heard of Last Breath?
Maybe. I'm not sure by its title.
Woody Harrelson,
yeah,
Simu Liu, and our old friend Finn Cole, who has been on this show once or twice. Right. Definitely once. Because he was in We Are the Young Men. Is that what it's called? No.
I think it might have been called that.
Maybe. Anyway,
Here Are the Young Men, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So they play 3 deep sea divers who go down to the seabed to repair pipelines.
Yes.
Oil pipelines. It's a true story. And there's a few tropes in this. So it's Woody Harrelson's last dive. He's about to retire.
Day before he retires.
Simu Liu's like the king of it all. He's the best, but nobody likes him. Finn Cole plays the new boys and the rookie 2. And then so they go down. Woody Harrelson stays on the boat. He's in charge of looking after them. And the other 2 go down. One of them, Finn Cole's, they call it his umbilical cord. All his stuff gets trapped. And the ship at exactly the same time loses its electronic anchor. Yeah. So the ship starts to move. His cord's trapped. He's going to get disconnected. Yeah. So Simu Liu's like, find your way back here. I will come back for you. And then all of a sudden, he gets pinged off where the ship goes. Finn Cole goes the other way, and he's now left in pitch darkness with 8 minutes of oxygen left. And it's all about how we get this ship back to where it was and get Simu Liu back down there so we can try and find this guy. And it is the most tense film I've seen in ages.
Oh, cool.
It's like your heart's going the whole time. Yeah. And it's to know as well that it's a true story. Yeah. And yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, that sounds good.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm interested.
With Woody Harrelson, you can't really go wrong, can you? And Simu Liu is great in it as well. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the guy who's up on the boat, but he's famous as well. He's the Scottish guy. Oh, I don't know his name. Fine. Yeah, check it out. It's really good.
Nice.
I think that's all I've watched. Cool. Obviously, we've spoken about Adolescence already. Just go and watch that. If you've not watched it, just don't be stupid.
Amazing.
Go and watch it. Yeah, that's it.
Good.
Anything else?
No.
Cool.
No.
Right. What are we doing now? Shall we do what's coming in April?
Let's do what's coming in April, and then we can...
I forgot. Do you know what we've forgotten?
What?
This is our 6th birthday.
Is it?
Yeah, the first episode of this show came out on April the 1st, 2019.
Amazing.
This episode will come out on April the 2nd, 2025. 6 years we've been doing this show.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Wow.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe we need to do some sort of like birthday retrospective look
cool.
back at the years.
Yeah.
But also what's happening in April is some new shit's coming to Netflix.
Cool.
So we'll
Let's
talk
hear
about
about
that,
it.
shall we?
Let's do that and we'll get
Now,
out of here.
Our usual website that we use seems to have disappeared.
Oh, right. Like,
So
that does happen to websites.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
So I've had to find another one. So this might not be everything, but it's a few things that's coming. So the first thing that's coming is Love on the Spectrum Season 3.
Nice.
It's coming on Wednesday, April the 2nd. It's like Netflix's version of The Undateables, basically. Devil May Cry Season 1.
Okay.
It's coming on April the 3rd.
Based on the video game?
Yeah, based on the video game. It's an anime. I presume a number of episodes.
There will be a number.
A number. It doesn't tell me. Pulse is coming. That is coming on April the 3rd. That says, an unexpected promotion after a colleague gets suspended arrives at the same time the hospital experiences a hurricane-induced lockdown.
What?
Sounds tricky, especially as these two doctors must now work together under the pressure of life or death stakes. To add further complications, the promoted Dr. Sims and the suspended chief resident Dr. Phillips had a complicated and illicit romance.
Good God.
And the bombshell details of that relationship begins to spill out amid the unfolding disaster. In short, get ready for major drama. Season 1. So that's a show that is coming. Season 1 of Karma is coming. Okay. That's their new South Korean TV show. It's a crime thriller from South Korea. Follows the lives of 6 characters whose fateful decisions plunge them into a relentless cycle of retribution. Tense is one word to be used to describe just the trailer. OMG is another.
Okay.
Squid Game's Park Who-So stars. Blippi's Job Show is coming.
Oh, nice.
We love Blippy.
Kids love Blippy.
You know, my niece loves Blippy.
Yeah.
But if I say the name Blippy, she bursts out laughing. There's something about me saying it makes her laugh. I don't know what it is.
Season the delivery.
Yeah, it must be. Season 1 of The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox.
Okay,
it's coming. So that's a bit like, I assume, like all the other sports documentaries that they do. Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing.
Okay.
It's coming on April the 9th. Billions of views, millions of dollars, hundreds of accusations. This explosive docuseries goes behind the glitz and glamour to explore the shadowy world of child influences and expose the dark realities of social media fame and the fight to protect the next generation of creators from exploitation. That's coming. North of North is also coming, season 1. That is a new Canadian show, comedy show. Netflix's first Canadian original series.
Oh, really?
Telling the story of a young Inuk woman who tries to build a new future for herself after a spontaneous and very public exit from her marriage. But in a small Arctic town where everybody knows your business, it won't be easy.
Cool.
Big one, April the 10th, Black Mirror Season 7 is coming. That's exciting. That seems to have been announced and come out pretty quickly after each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, loads of big stars are going to be in that one. Peter Capaldi's in one, Emma Corrin, Paul Giamatti, Rashida Jones, Will Poulter, Aquafina. There's like who's who of people in that. Bullet Train Explosion.
Cool.
In 1975, the Japanese movie The Bullet Train changed cinema forever because it was the movie that inspired Speed. I don't think Speed changed the world, but there you go. This reboot of the OG film, directed by Shinji Higuchi, known for merging spectacular visuals with human drama in works like Shin Godzilla, promises another panic suspense thriller depicting the intense struggle of those racing to save lives under extreme conditions. All of these, so far, by the way, are Netflix originals.
Cool.
Carlos Alvarez, My Way, is coming on the 23rd of April. He's a tennis guy, I think.
He's a tennis dork.
He's a tennisser, yeah. You, season 5.
Yes.
It's coming. That comes on the 24th
I think that
of
finishes
April.
that show, doesn't it?
I believe it is, yeah. Yeah, that closes that. Havoc is a new
It's the Tom Hardy movie.
That is coming.
Evans.
After a drug deal goes wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through a criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son while unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares the entire city.
Yeah.
It drops on a Friday, and we can't think of a better way of spending a Friday night.
Tom Hardy's just going to beat the shit out of everyone for 2 hours.
That's all the Netflix originals. Then you've got other things that are coming are Mr. Monk's Last Case.
Okay.
Which is the Monk
It's like a Monk
movie.
TV movie, isn't it?
Nimesh Patel got a stand-up special coming. Don't Worry, Darling. That's the Harry Styles movie. I've seen that. It's all right. Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 3.
Okay, yeah.
Fast X is coming on the 4th of April. Ripper Street, all 5 seasons of that are coming on the 4th of April.
I remember that show.
It was all right. Steve Pemberton.
Yeah, I think so.
How to Sell Drugs Online, Season 4. Paddington in Peru is coming on the 8th of April.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Frozen Hot Boys.
Right.
10th of April. What else? Project UFO Season 1. WrestleMania 41, obviously. That says Thursday the 17th of April. That is not correct. That is coming on the 19th and 20th of April. Asterix and Obelix, The Big Fight.
Oh, wow.
And then there's something called, on April the 30th, called Extraterritorial.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. I don't know what that is. And that's it. That is your
Good stuff.
big glut of stuff coming. Lots of Netflix originals coming in
Yeah.
April. So, yeah, go out and watch all of those. Let us know if you do and what you think of all of them.
Excellent.
Right, we've done over an hour.
We have.
Did you say you got another question?
I think I might leave it for next week.
Okay,
as a tease.
there's a tease. I like
And,
that. Let's do that.
We should mention what we're watching on
Yes, we should.
Thursday. What we're talking about on Thursday, because we've already watched it. We'll be back here on Thursday and listen to our podcast where we will be talking about the movie Killer Book Club.
We will indeed.
A Spanish horror movie.
Which historically have done really well over the
Yes.
last 6 years of this show.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this one's going to be added to our list of good Spanish films that we've done over the years.
Sure. We sure will.
Sweet. Okay, let's get out of here. Do what you want. Do what you want.
Yeah, do what you want.
Do what you want
It's your
now.
life.
The video's finished. You can just go and watch whatever you want. Like, subscribe, tell your nan, ting the bell, do all that sort of stuff. And then we'll be back next Monday for another episode of this and Thursday for our movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.